Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here. This is a really exciting event that we have enjoyed putting together and are happy to share so much information with you about integrated education and training this afternoon. So we will be in a variety of sessions, as you saw in the flyer, between now and 4. Lots of experts sharing their experiences and colleagues around the state. So we will be first start here with a welcome, and then there'll be a time for introductions to IET and quality indicators, and then an SSLO roundup, especially from Carly. SSLO stands for, you'll find out if you don't know yet. And then we'll be talking about next steps. All the resources are available in the participant folder, which is also linked in the flyer, also available by this QR code. So I'll give you just a moment if you're someone who's using their phone. And the nice thing about today's event is you don't have to navigate to different Zoom links. Everything's going to be in this link. If you have to step away for something, you can just do that and come right back when you need to. So we are going to start with a quick warm-up question. You'll want to grab this Menti that Gail just put in the chat, or you can use the QR code if you prefer. It works either way. And the question is, how are you feeling about your IET work right now? Just want to get a sense of how it's going out there. So take a moment, join us either in the Menti on your phone or on your computer, and let us know how you're feeling about this. Carly, are you going to take us to that? Let's see if people have had a chance to respond. Again, if you haven't popped your name, your program, and your IET hat, feel free to do that in the chat. And here are these coming in. Oh, good. These are happy words, some of them. So we've got optimistic and curious, refining, fancy. A little rusty, maybe it's a little murky, maybe it's a little challenging. These are some great words. If you're having any trouble with the Menti and just want to put a word in the chat, that's just fine, but it's kind of fun to see these coming through. I like the optimistic and curious. It seems like a good place to start the day. Thank you. Give people just another moment. All right, feel free to continue that. And if we get new fun words, we'll be sure and bring them up. I'm Patsy and I'm at Atlas, but it's my pleasure to introduce our State Director, Brad, who's going to have a few words for us about the state of IET things and things we need to know from his office. Go ahead, Brad.
Thank you so much, Patsy. Thanks actually to all of Team Atlas for hosting today's event and helping to organize today's event. I'm really looking forward to this and to hearing from each of you throughout the sessions. I want to thank also my colleagues at the Minnesota Department of Education that helped make today possible. Julie Dincau and Astrid Leiden, thank you both for your wonderful efforts to make today possible. And thanks for all of you for being here today and for recognizing the importance of integrated education and training. Integrated education and training is a model that has been really emphasized by the federal government over the last 10 years. And we saw some buildup with that. And then we saw that the first years of COVID really kind of broke that down. But over the last couple of years, the work that you're doing in IET in rebuilding and making them stronger, working with your partners has been outstanding. And I hope to see that continue to grow. So thank you. I'm really excited to hear about the learning that's going to happen today and from your stories, because I really want to hear your honest perspectives. I really appreciated the honest perspectives in that word cloud. And I hope throughout the day I can hear more about the specific promising practices that you're finding, the specific challenges that you're facing, to see how we can best work together and how we can best support you. So let's see a little bit about some of the resources that we can share for you. So thanks to Carly for being our navigator on the website today, but I wanted to make sure that you are all aware there are a lot of IET resources on the mnabe.org website. So if you go to mnabe.org, the first place you'll want to go is under Transitions and Partnerships, and there's a whole section there for integrated education and training. So if we click there, There you can see a lot of resources that are available to you, including some basic definitions like what is IET? And here you can see the spotlight on integrated education and training where you can learn more. You can see a little bit about the process for getting your IET approved. And you have resources there, both the application and instructions on helping you complete that application and helping you with the SSLOs, as well as definitions and resources that can be kind of a foundation for you as you move forward. As you continue to scroll down on this page, you can also see that there's quite a few professional development resources that will direct you to the proper places on the Atlas website, whether it's about the basics, IET essentials, or some promising practices in IET, or if it's going more in depth on that single set of learning objectives, the SSLOs. And for those of you that are policy wonks, we do have all the federal resources and regulations for you as well, including the IET Design Toolkit. That's not a policy wonk thing, but that is a helpful resource in helping you design and implement your IET. But we do have some specific resources for IET and corrections and another training guide. So those will help kind of provide all of the regulations, some of the best practices, and some of those core indicators as well. So that is the IET page on the mnabe.org site. Please use that and let us know if there are things that you'd like to see added or changed on that site or on that page. And this is a great time. I actually today just submitted or clicked submit on all of our federal reports that are due tomorrow. Look at us being a day ahead. In our federal reports, there's some significant growth in IET and in credentials earned in Minnesota adult education. This year alone, there were more than 1,800 learners that were enrolled in an IET program. That is a 22% increase from last year or from the year before. So in 24-25, we had more than 1,800 people participating in IET. The year before was 22% lower. So we're seeing great growth in IET, and that growth is greater than the growth that we're seeing generally with adult education programming. So IET is growing faster than a lot of our other adult education programs. In addition to that, we had 899, nearly 900 learners that earned a credential, like one of those work readiness credentials or one of the industry recognized credentials or one of those credentials through the statewide online training courses or another work-based credential that you might use and document in SID. Again, this is based off of data in SID, but a 38% increase from last year or from the year before. 38% increase. Wow, that actually really helped our outcomes as we went to look at that credential attainment indicator. So outstanding in this IET impact. One other data stat that's on there, because I just found it today, earlier today, not on the screen, but I also recognize, or I also see that IET participants are more than 60% more likely to have documented employment after leaving adult education compared to our general adult education exited participants. 60% more likely to have documented employment if they were part of an IET. That is outstanding. And that makes sense based off of the work that you're doing in those integrated education and training programs. So that really shows the effectiveness of that work and the importance of the IET work. So please keep exploring IET, keep building IET, keep refining your IET because it really is having an impact on those that are participating. Thank you so much. And I, at this point, am going to turn it over back to Carly.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you to Patsy and to Brad for kicking us off this afternoon. My name is Carly Voshell. I help to plan this event today. We're so excited that we made it here to September 30th for this IET event because it was definitely not looking likely at certain times this summer. And so we're just happy to be here and looking at the registration list, I saw many familiar names, people who I know have been doing this work for a while. I think of it as like you're in the trenches, you're doing this work, and it's really challenging and hard. And I'm sure we all have great success stories, but also horror stories. And what I wanted to do with this slide was to kind of gather some experience from some Minnesota practitioners, and we have wonderful, experienced IET folks in the state of Minnesota. And I wanted to tap their brain a little bit about challenges and how they overcame those challenges. And so we have two programs that put together these nice little videos. They're about 3 minutes each. They don't really need more introduction, but I am going to open this first one, which is from Mankato, and we'll hear from Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Walters from Mankato Adult Basic Education, and today I'm going to talk about one of our challenges with our IETs. So one of the challenges that we have experienced over time is with partnerships. So we have partnerships and we have relationships with all of the partners, lots of partnerships in the IET programs. So we sometimes have really strong relationships and sometimes not so great. There's also a lot of turnover in the organizations, both at Mankato ABE and at other places. And sometimes we feel like we're constantly recreating things when new people come on board. So I think one of the things we've learned is that, yes, you need to nurture your relationships with your partners, but you also need to have really strong processes in place that are documented so that when people come on board to your partnership, you can train them effectively. And if you have processes in place, then it doesn't matter if relationships change, if organizations rehire or change it to a different department or whatever, you can use those processes to train the new person. And it's not going to fall apart when a relationship changes, because people are going to retire, people are going to take different jobs, they're going to move on and up. So some of the examples of different types of processes that we have established are cut scores for programs, having a process for screening, for eligibility, for intake, the interview questions we're going to ask, the paperwork we're going to do, who's going to be responsible for what paperwork, the timelines for when we're going to offer courses, when we're going to market them, when we're going to do our info sessions, or how we're going to tell students about the different IETs that we offer. So my recommendation is to really look at your processes, have those documented, and be able to use those documents to train new staff, and then also always be nurturing your relationships with your partners and get to know your partners and understand their systems and what their challenges and solutions are for the things that they're working with in their own systems. And then your IET will weather the storm when you have changes in staffing, funding, and organizations that come along and want to join your partnership. Thanks.
Well, thank you to Karen for putting that
Hi,
video
I'm
together.
Karen
That was
Walters
really
from Mankato
helpful.
Adult Basic.
Oop, there we go. Thank you to Karen and Mankato ABE for sharing the challenges and solutions. I had a chance to visit their program in person and am always impressed by what they do. I did notice the bulletin board or something behind Karen there that says plan. So she seems to be very organized. And, you know, we might think of her as kind of an IET rock star, but it's reassuring to hear that some of these same kind of universal challenges are present in their program too. So I hope that was as reassuring for you as it was for me. We have one more video with a lesson learned here from Mounds View ABE.
Hello, my name is Susan Seiferth. I am the lead teacher for the Microsoft Office Specialist Certification, IET, through Mounds View Adult Education. The challenge for us when we were considering applying for IET status was a business partner relationship. We are an online statewide independent study, which means that our students are all over the state of Minnesota. So first we needed to find an employer with a presence across the state of Minnesota. Second, we are an online independent study, and we enroll new students in cohorts each month, which means across the course of the year, we have students throughout the curriculum. There's never a point at which we can say, well, our students all now have skills A, B, and C, and they are ready to connect with employer number one. So we really needed to think outside the box in terms of how we could create a business partnership that would serve all of our students without overtaxing a business partner. The solution that we came up with was partnering with the state of Minnesota's management and budget department. They are in charge of the employee experience, both existing employees and job seekers, and they had a lot of materials already prepared to help people figure out how to search for, apply for, interview for, and land jobs with the state of Minnesota. And obviously they employ people across the entire state, so this was a good fit. What we ended up doing was developing a rotating series of quarterly learning sessions. We do one on resumes and cover letters, one on interview skills, one is a panel discussion involving newer employees and more seasoned employees discussing their journey with the state. We have a session on navigating the state's employment website, which can be challenging. And this year we are considering adding a fifth spotlight session on for kind of spotlighting a department within the state of Minnesota that needs employees with the skills that students learned in the MOS course, so that they can come in and discuss with our students the nuts and bolts of how their skills would fit into a job, how to represent that on a resume, and really talk with people who are hiring for positions that need their skills. This doesn't become an interview at any point. We don't place students in jobs with the state, but we do record these sessions so that if a student joins our program after a session is passed, they can review that content, they can see that video, they can get that contact information from the video, and then reach out to that person and begin a discussion, begin a relationship. So we really feel like this has been a fruitful relationship for our students. And every year after we run that fourth or fifth session, we get together and we talk about what went well, what didn't go as well, what we would like to see more of, less of, that kind of thing. So this is definitely a little bit of a non-traditional relationship, but our students really have benefited from that relationship, and we are really proud to offer it to them. Hello, my name is Susan.
Well, thank you to Susan and Mounds View ABE that prepared that video to share. Again, there might be certain themes that you can connect with in each of those programs, because some of these challenges are very common. We see it in lots of different programs, but hopefully we can, as a field, kind of gather more of these resources from practitioners to practitioners, so that we can just kind of continue to elevate these stories and experiences, and we all benefit from that. So this next slide is just to kind of prepare you for the next session. We're running a little bit early, but we will have the next session is Heather Turngren and Julie Dincau. It's called Introduction to IET, and then it's going to focus on IET quality indicators. Here's the full description. It's also in the flyer, or you can access the flyer and the slides through the QR code, which is in the participant folder. And we can go ahead and end this recording.